My name's Michael and welcome to Tabletop-Infiltrator. In today's video we'll be delving into this month's White Dwarf edition, issue 466. What I'm thinking with these reviews, White Dwarf is quite expensive. It's what is it? It's $5.99 in the UK. So if you're not sure if you want to pick it up or not, watch the video. I go through every page, and if you see something, and if it's something you then want to decide you want to pick up, that's brilliant. And if not, then hopefully I've saved you some pennies. So let's jump in and see what's going on in this month's magazine. So here we have July's edition of White Dwarf, issue 466. We've got a brilliant picture of a Tyrannid here on the front cover. I think it's a Tyrannid warrior. And we've also got a new Flashpoint series, so Flashpoint Octarius Tale, which is the leading on from Flashpoint Caradon. So if you haven't seen the Caradon series, look back in the previous White Dwarf magazines. That was the followers of Nurgle going after the Caradon sector, and you can see how that turned out. So in this month's issue, we've got the series continues on the big guns in A Tale of Four Warlords, so the Tale of Four Warlords series. New rules for Torchbearer Fleets, I think that's to do with Crusade rules maybe. Fantastical realms, so Cities of Sigmar, so that's AOS. 40 years of battle reports revisited, so cool, looking forward to that. And then new rules for Blood Bowl references and much more, so it's Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So, right. And then we've got the man himself, Jarvis Johnson, what a legend. And I believe he is retiring from GW. So we can see how that's... so we've got, I think there's an interview with him on his time that he spent there with us. And then we've got the contents page here, just showing some bits and pieces of what we've got in this month's issue. And then straight onto it, look at that. That is the iconic, that's the John Blanche's 3rd edition, I believe, page for the front cover art for the rulebook, core rulebook in 40k. And then, who's this? Christoph Neal, hope I said his name right, has done a diorama of it, and that looks awesome, so cool. And we've got, I don't know, is that a Forge World model one? Again, that's looking really nice. And then we've got some more models done by the public. Again, so cool. I could never get anywhere near this. Really nice. Some Custodes. Jesus Moreno Ramos. Again, I hope I've said your name right, mate. But you have got a nice looking Custodes force there. Really nice. And then the man himself. Look at this. So Phil Kelly's done. He does the Worlds of Warhammer. So Worlds of Warhammer delves into the background of Age of Sigmar and the 41st millennium, looking at how stories are created and the legends are born. This month, the very greatest of legends is celebrated. The Celestine Prime himself, Jarvis Johnson. Brilliant. And it just goes to everything that he was involved in. Fantastic. That's a great. And then it just shows you everything that that he was involved in right at the very start, even his little contract that he was offered at Games Workshop. I found this really interesting, these bits and pieces, because I hadn't seen some of this art for some of the editions. Right, and then we've got, that's like an iconic pic. That's when I first found out and got into the hobby, well, thought about getting into the hobby. What edition was that? Focusing on 5th edition, that's when I got into it. Right, Battlefleet Gothic, awesome. So good, he was involved in so much, wasn't he? That's epic, great stuff. Right, and then we come on to the 40k part of the magazine, and this is focusing on Flashpoint Octarius, let me know if I've said that right. And then you got this great artwork with the Blood Angel battling against the Tyranids. Wow, if you've ever, you should really read Devastation of Baal. That was just brilliant, and just, I've read it like 3 times now. So, we're just going on about this whole section is about that Octarius section, sector. So what's happened is that a Inquisitor had the bright idea of leading the Tyranids into an Orc empire, basically, and thought, right, they'll just beat the living daylights out of one another and we'll just clear up the mess that's left afterwards. And of course it didn't quite turn out that way, and now each side is getting stronger and stronger, and the Imperium is going to have to deal with something even more powerful when one of them is victorious. So again, these Flashpoint series are brilliant. They've got loads of fluff and short stories, and like really, if you're like me, if I'm suffering from a bit of hobby burnout, I read this and I'm just straight back into it. So I love all of this. Really, really good, and it makes for good reading as well. It makes White Dwarf worth buying. Yeah, I really enjoy these sections. And then we've got it looks like a bit on a new chapter, the KRAKENS, Dark KRAKENS. I think they're a Salamander successor chapter. Brilliant. And then we've got a short story here, Flashpoint Octarius. So again, brilliant. And then we've got some Flashpoint data sheets that you can use for special characters in your Crusade games. Really nice. And then some Crusade rules there. And then some Crusade. Well, I suppose you could play these as a normal game of 40k, I suppose, but narrative and Crusade based really. And then a Tale of 4 Warlords. Moving on to this, I really enjoyed this, and I think this is a really great idea. Painting up 2,000 points can be really daunting, but if you break it down into manageable chunks, like, right, I'm going to do 150 points this month and then 150 points next month, you'll gradually build up, you'll get used to how your army plays. You probably find you'll want to play in a different way, and you can make adjustments because you haven't gone out and bought all these models. So again, I think a really good way of building up a force. And you can start 500 points, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, get used to playing with the rules in the army. So yeah, really great idea. And this one's been going for a couple of months now. So we've got Space Marines, Necrons, Sisters of Battle, and Orcs. Brilliant. So the Space Marines one was Sons of Medusa. I think they did some Infiltrators last time in the previous magazine. Really nice models there. Assault Terminator, Assault Intercessors, and an Ancient. Nice. Some Necrons again. I do like the Necron range. And some Sisters. That's really cool. Flame look on the sword. That's supposed to be that's a Celestine conversion, I think. That's cool. Just flaming away. And then the Orcs. And I can guarantee you that Lydia will be adding some of the Beast Snaggers, I think, to her collection maybe. We'll wait and see. Oh, okay. So this is the force that they've painted up so far. So yeah, really nice. This is all the models in their collection. Really nice. I like that contrasting look, camo for the Infiltrator as they are Infiltrators. Sister's really nice. That massive Orc army with all those grots. Yeah, really cool. Really nice that. And then moving on, we've got the light and the dark. So this bit is focusing on the Torchbearer Fleets, which are the during the Indominus Crusade, the Torchbearer task forces were assigned the duty of furnishing. Were basically sent out. The Custodies were sent out with reinforcements for chapters of Space Marines that weren't on like the direct course of like the Indominus fleets. that were just scattered all over the place, mainly. Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, really nice this. Again, loads of reading, loads of fluff, and this is the really thing that really gets me into the hobby. I really enjoy it. And again, I think we've got a short story here. A custodian is looking for the whereabouts of some Marines, I think, or a chapter. Yeah, loads of reading. I think this is great. And then I think this gives you some rules for Torchbearer Crusade Force. Some new rules for Crusade missions if you want to play. Yeah, really nice. I don't know much about Crusade. I can barely get my head around the normal rules, let alone all the additional rules that come with Crusade. And then here we've got like a thick card section with some Blood Bowl referee cards or something that you can cut out maybe, and some rules for them. Again, not sure, but I don't play Blood Bowl. And then you've got some Crusade relics, new rules for Crusade. Brilliant. That's what I like as well. These are painting guides. I don't always follow them, but they do give you handy hints and tips about how to paint up models. And Custodies, I've always wanted to get some Custodies. So then you've got the battle ready version, and then the parade ready, which is obviously the next stage up, just to get your army on the board quicker and start playing some games. Echoes from the Warp. So Echoes from the Warp is a regular column about rules, tactics and ongoing development of Warhammer 40k, presented by the team's game developers. This month's article is about secondary objectives and how to get the most out of them. So if anything, I'd get this magazine just for this, because secondaries make up a huge part of 40k battles, and if you can nail those, well, it puts you in good stead for winning games, definitely. So definitely worth a read that. So there's a lot going in this month's White Dwarf. To be honest, when I first saw the front cover, I thought it was going to be about Tyrannies, but it's just about the Octarius Flashpoint. Right, and then moving on to Age of Sigmar. Basically, I had a little look at this, and it's basically all the fantasy model that you can then use in your games of AOS, I think. Like I said, I know practically nothing about Age of Sigmar, so I'm thinking that's what the case is, because these are great. Because I know a lot of these units from Warhammer Total War 2. So the Griffin Knights, Karl Franz with his and some dwarves, and it looks like a Hellblaster volley gun there in the back. And then these are just some of the painting guides for it. And like your steam tanks, but driven by dwarfs. And you've got like a floating one. So, like I said, if you're into it, then there's obviously a lot of stuff here. And if you've got those old fantasy models that you didn't want to burn like some people did when AOS came along, then obviously they've all been rebased onto round bases. But I'm not sure if these are new models or old models. These are fun. I think these are what, Adeptus Mechanicus Dunecaller legs or something. They've had a steam tank on them. That's cool. And then we've got into the cities of Sigmar, so an army on parade. That looks really nice. And they look like Krieg siege mortars or something from Forge World. Hey, I've got to say though, even though I don't follow Age of Sigmar, some of the models look really cool. And whoever's done this army has done some really nice conversion work. Wow, really cool. This is really nice, this. I think these, Balthazar Gelt. This is using some of the old miniatures. Those are like repeater pistoliers from Fantasy. Yeah, that's a Lumineth of Hish or basically it's a last cannon, that thing. And a bright wizard. Yeah, these are old fantasy models. Yeah, pistoliers, there we go. Cool. Nice to see that they're using the old figures. And then J-files. So the J-files are anomaly in the space-time continuum, dragged kicking and screaming from the days of White Dwarf past. In this very last and very special J-files column, Jarvis muses on his time at Games Workshop and his hopes for a bright and shiny hobby future. So if you want to read a little bit more on Jarvis Johnson, there we go, the man himself. Wow, there's a lot going on in this month's one. Right, Space Marine. So Temporal Jarvis Johnson's Battle Report special. So this is looking at all like the great battle reports that were in White Dwarf magazines. So, and honestly, you can pick White Dwarf magazines up. Like the really old ones can be a little bit expensive, but some of them are like a couple of quid. And you can just read back on some of these great battle reports that were fought. And I do remember some of them. I mean, not in these early ones. But yeah, wow. Old Blood Angels, the Orc Horde, yes. And this kind of picture, I used to love this. This is my time of battle reports on White Dwarf. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this. Normally with the reviews, I wait until I actually open. I only look at it when I'm on the reviews. Wow. The Gathering of Might, 25,000 point Warhammer Fantasy Battle. That is epic. That's like Empire and Elves and Dwarves maybe? Or Empire and Elves. That is brilliant. Oh, here we go. We've got Empire and Wood Elves versus Orcs, Chaos Dwarves and Goblins. Wow. What? Which one is this? White Dwarf 181. I might see if I can... 181 if you want to read that one. If you want to buy it. Or if you've got it. Great. Oh yeah, these are some epic battle reports, man. Yeah. Steel Legion. Oh, I really hope. Fingers crossed. Games Workshop have released Plastic Krieg. Hopefully, we get a re-release of Steel Legion. What are the other? Moradin, Vostrians, Valhallans. Come on, Games Workshop. It's brilliant. And then we've got Blood Bowl match reports in some of the White Dwarf magazines. That's really cool. Praetorian Army. Wow. Nice. This would keep me reading for hours looking at these. I just want to stop. I know I'm recording, but this is definitely worth a read. Wow, yes, okay. So, personally, I would buy this month, well, I have bought, but I would definitely pick up this month's edition of White Dwarf. There's a lot in it. Then moving on to Curse City. No idea about Curse City. If you're interested, there's a section in this month's edition about it. Really nice looking models though. Some of them you could convert to like Inquisitors maybe. Nice. Warhammer Diachasm. A section on that. What's it about? Glory Points is our column, curated by the game's developers of the boxing machine. This column delves into the development of the game plus rules, tactics and gameplay. This time we talk about designing warbands. So if that's your thing, this is your edition. And then we've got Aeronautica Imperialis. So you've got a cool little like shuttle type thing. Again, don't play it. Don't think I ever will, because not that I'm not interested in it, it's just that I barely get my Space Marines painted up in time, let alone anything else. But yeah, the models look absolutely awesome. I remember when was it a month ago or 2 months ago, Games Workshop teased us with a plastic Thunderhawk, and it was for this. Yep, plastic Thunderhawk, but it's about this big. And then Blood Bowl. So here we present new rules for using Blood Bowl referee models in your game, in your own game. Lace up your boots and prepare to kick off. So that's probably what that was for. Alright. So if you're into Blood Bowl, we've got some new rules there for using referees. And then we've got Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, the Heir of ISILDUR, the Lord of the Rings, the Chieftain of Dunedain, and the Heir to the Throne of Gondor, Aragorn. Nice, and I like how Games Workshop have refreshed the Lord of the Rings range. I think it's a great game. I did play it when I was younger as well. My friend had some, we used to play HEIR versus Rohan. Nice. And then we've got a bit from Black Library here, so another short story. Yeah, so again, lots more reading for you. Inside the studio, so your hobby bingo that you can play. Nice. Wow. Armies on Parade. So the Anthonian Tank Corps. Wow, that's really nice set of models. And a nice diorama as well. And then it gives you a little bit down here. Next issue, A Storm is Coming. Next issue on sale, 20th of August. And then on the back here, we've got some Tyranid models. Tyranids are trying to overrun, looks like an Ultramarines position. Is that new? Or is that the current model for the not Swarm Mold? That's a Swarm Mold. No, I don't think it is. Broodlord. Is that a new Broodlord? No, can't be. Would have seen that. Anyway, some nice looking Tyranids there. So I think Octarius is going to be the main focus for the next couple of White Dwarfs. So that was July's edition of White Dwarf. Definitely worth picking that up, I think personally. There's a lot in there and well worth a read. If you've enjoyed the video, consider giving me a thumbs up, and if you haven't, a thumbs down. And if you want to support the channel, hit that subscribe button down there in the corner, switch on notifications so you never miss a video. And I'll hopefully see you next time.